Welcome to myprojectbazaar.com. Our product end title is on the design of mutually aware optimal pricing and load balancing strategies for grid computing systems. Next we move to abstract. Actually in this product based on the design of mutually aware optimal pricing and load balancing strategies for grid computing systems. It managing the resource and cleverly pricing the amount computing system is a challenging task. Resource sharing demands careful load balancing and often strives to achieve a win-win situations between a resource providers and users. Towards this goals, we consider a joint treatment of load balancing and pricing. We do not assume the static pricing to determine the load balancing or vice versa. Instead, we study the relationship between the price that computing a nodes is charged and the load and revenue that is received. We find there existing an optimal price which maximizes the revenue. We then consider multi-user environment and explore how the load from the user can be balanced on processors with the existing loads. Finally, we derive an optimal price that maximizes the revenue in the multi-user environment. We evaluate the performance of the proposed algorithm through the simulation. The main aim of this process is pricing, load balancing, cost, revenue, and response time. Next, we move to workflow about the project. Start the process. Create the users and load balancing approach to minimize the job response time and cost in distributed system or grids have been developed in queuing models. By modeling each node as an queuing system, the expected response time at each node can be determined. Consequently, the optimal load distribution to minimize the overall response time for users' jobs is derived from the rate. We probably define this approach as a minimum rate. Following this approach and assume the constraint in a particular execution time to amount of response required in an optimal load distribution to minimize the overall cost for users' job is derived. We probably define the approach in minimum cost. Both approaches assume the price of all nodes are given that fixed and end the process. Next we move to execution process. This is an interior screen. That's home screen about on the design of mutually aware and optimal pricing and load balancing strategy for grid computing. Let's start the execution process here. So execution process started from here. Create the single user. So it's an input of enter number of users. I to 12, click OK, and 12 user successfully created. OK, and enter the users here, and use the multi users here. Create the multi users for this area. It's a multi-user process about the program user creation user and run multi-users in multi-user environment. Here they created in the multi-users in this program. To managing the resource and cleverly pricing them on computing systems challenging the task. Next motto and data configuration. Yes, constant broker development. Create the managing resource and cleverly pricing them on computing systems during the task. Data analyzing. So on this tool, analyzing data is created and providers as analyzing process completed. Next move to next screen. This is a single user system data. Two data is created successfully. Next create the broker. The broker is created in this window. Create the brokers. So brokers created in this name of brokers and brokers ID created in this windows. Next we move to next screen. So start the main process of this and simulations and contributions. data center and create the data and data start creator process and is completed a data process completed and start the broker creator process started and create the brokers 12 brokers and 12 created successfully and the data center broker and data broker ID determine this process and complete the data process completed and move to next screen. Virtual machine creation. Create a number of virtual machine in this process. Virtual machines created and virtual machine submitted to respective broker successfully and we enter particular selections process and let the process will grid led and in this grid led we create the virtual machines and virtual machine constitutions and create the virtual machines we have to enter the success. If database is successfully created, the process will successfully created here. So enter the virtual machines to create the successful answers. To move to next. Will submitted to respective broker successfully. Move to next. So load constructions is optimal load balancing integrated over optimal load balancing is created here and is created to the virtual ID and this runs the load constructions a particular data set and implement the process in system host load and this optimal load balancing is load balancing. So optimal is minimum cost calculator from the entire process and minimum rate connected with this process. Move to next. Monotonically increasing and monotonically decreasing. It's indicator optimal pricing. So indicator optimal pricing in this constructing system. So first to create the optimal pricing virtual machine. So it's a virtual machine ID and load pricing and clear the process. And host load pricing. This host load pricing is host ID and load pricing. Clear this process. Pre-assigned rates. The pre-assigned response rates created successfully. Monotonically cases and pricing solution with pre-assigned rates. So pre-assigned rates created successfully and calculate the every process in the integrator optimal pricing in monotonically increasing and monotonically decreasing. So next we move to exponential distributed variable rates. Slight to moderate loads and moderate to heavy loads. In this containers and create the manage the process. The create the process is the minimum cost and rates. The minimum rate and minimum cost and global it's created successfully. So clear the first process. Next pricing with load balancing. So create the pricing with load balancing optimal price, optimal global pricing with load balancing. Is clear. And moderate to heavy load. Minimum cost and rates. Calculate the minimum rate global and minimum cost. Clear this process. Again we pricing with load balancing. This pricing with load balancing is optimal A and optimal global A. Clear this process. Next we find the every light to moderate to low and it calculated successfully and moderate to heavy load calculated unsuccessfully and moderate to heavy load in minimum cost range connected to this ways and moderate pricing with load balancing calculated on this way. Next we move to group job distribution. The group allocation process, host machine time and waiting time